To the Ministry of Communication Technology, and we are joined by the Minister of Communication Technology, Mrs. Omobola Johnson. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Well, yeah, your ministry, barely 2 years old actually. And yeah, much as you have people who may ask, why was it set up, what is it doing, but you did set some targets for yourself. Are you achieving them, and how do you even measure your success?
We have some very clear key performance indicators, but I think first of all we need to talk about why the ministry was created in the first place.
Okay.
And it really came about as a realization of the role that ICT can play in the development of a nation, emerging economy like Nigeria. We've seen what has happened in countries like India, in countries like Malaysia, and I think putting that focus on the ICT industry means that we can leverage ICT not only for economic development but also for governance as well. In terms of the KPIs, we've got some very clear targets that we have set for ourselves, and they're indicators in terms of, or goals really, in terms of connectivity of Nigeria and Nigerians. That's broadband infrastructure across the country. We've got goals in terms of actually trying to create an ICT economy, businesses, small, medium scale and large businesses that are ICT focused and are contributing to GDP. And we've got some clear targets set for us in terms of how we use technology in governance, in government, for instance. So there are very clear targets in those areas.
Do you have any plans for tertiary institutions? Because, I mean, to sustain some of these policies long after you're gone, you need a backbone, you need a base. Are you thinking about that?
Of course we are. And there are three things we're looking at in tertiary institutions. First of all, it is connectivity of all the tertiary institutions in the country. Second of all, it is actually putting devices in the hands of our students. And finally, it's about the skills that we require in the ICT industry. So for connectivity, what we're doing in collaboration with the World Bank, of course working with the Ministry of Education, the World Bank, the USP Fund, and the TED Fund, we have designed a 10 gig fiber optic link that will connect all universities and all tertiary institutions together, not only universities but polytechnics as well. Connect them together, but also connect them to the internet so that they have better capacity for research and development. We started that. And we hope that we'll go live with the first set of universities by the third quarter of 2013. I'm building that up to connect all universities by the end of 2014.
Okay.
The other thing that we've done in the ministry is we've launched a student computer ownership program. Quite innovative in the sense that today we have only about 1% of our students that actually own a computer. They may have access through their computer labs that have been donated by different either corporate organizations or government itself. But we believe that every student needs to have a computer. So what we've done is we've started the Student Computer Ownership Scheme. It's in collaboration with, of course, the NUC, Ministry of Education, banks, and our local assemblers of computers. Basically, what a student has to do is there's a portal, www.cos.portal.ng. I think I'll get the proper name. But basically, a student goes onto the portal. He registers on the portal, says that I'm a bona fide student of a Nigerian university. It is confirmed by the registrar of the university. All of this is online, by the way, confirmed by the registrar. Once that's confirmed, he chooses the computer. It goes to the local original equipment manufacturer, and then he gets a loan from the bank, and that computer is then delivered to the student. We've done the pilot of this, hugely successful. We had 400 students registered to buy a computer in the first week that the portal was launched. We have the national launch actually next week. You'll be hearing a lot of radio adverts and jingles, and we'll do all our Facebook and Twitter and Thunderclap initiatives to get more students aware of the program. So that's actually getting computers in the hands of our students. The third thing that we're doing is actually then beginning to build capacity, because we have a lot of our students in universities studying computer science, computer engineering, electrical engineering, electronics, all the things related to the communication technology industry. But we find that a lot of these curriculums are actually outdated. Right. And so while I know that the Ministry of Education is working on revamping the curriculum in a number of these courses, we can't wait, because we have vacancies actually in the IT industry. In Africa, about 24% of the vacancies in the network and network engineering field are actually, 24% of the jobs cannot be filled because we just don't have the skills. So what we're doing is we're collaborating with multinationals, IBM, Cisco, Huawei, ZTE, and we're bringing their own capacity, hopefully embedding them into the Nigerian curriculum, and training our students to be much more work ready than they are today. So today you can come up with a degree in computer science and you really don't understand the new technologies that are being used or the new software languages. So training them at the undergraduate level by embedding these institutions into the university system but also for people that have graduated, almost having like a after graduate training and skills development, network engineering, software development, all these kind of things that we are really having an issue with because the industry is going so fast and we just don't have the local skills to meet up with that demand.
Now, some people would say it still doesn't say you should have an entire ministry dedicated to that. We already have the Ministry of Science and Technology. How come it wasn't factored into the Ministry of Science and Technology?
It's completely different, completely different. ICT itself is an industry on its own. Science and tech, very, very important because of the innovation and all the different technologies. So we've excised computing and communications technology, information technology out of science and tech because as an industry, it is so critical to development. When you look at what has happened, for instance, with a mobile phone and mobile technology, I mean, these tools have no longer, they're no longer, I want to call you, I want to speak to you. These are tools that are being used for a number of things. If we look at the economy of the world today, some of the largest companies in the world today are ICT companies. They didn't exist 20 years ago. The Apples of this world, the Googles of this world. So this industry is so important and so critical that you can't embed it or put it under another ministry. I think President Jonathan was absolutely right in creating a new ministry to look at how we can really begin to ensure that ICT is a critical backbone of the entire economy.
Okay, so do you liaise with the Ministry of Education or NUC in terms of the quality of graduates and kind of courses you want them to bring into schools such that they can fill in those jobs at the end of the day?
Absolutely. Everything I've described around the tertiary institutions is done with collaboration and partnership with the Ministry of Education and the Nigerian Universities Commission. So we're working very, very closely together.
Mm. Tell us about the telecommunications sector. Because of course, lots of complaints in that industry. They keep asking. In fact, NCC gets a lot of flack, but you supervise that ministry.
Yes, yes.
What's going on there?
Yeah. What's going on, I mean, as you know, the quality of service is nowhere near where it needs to be. I think what has happened is that the growth of the industry, quite honestly, has exceeded all our expectations. Nigeria has been one of the fastest growing telecoms industry in the world. Today, we're still growing at about 30% year on year, which is significant, phenomenal. And what has happened is that the investments in the infrastructure really haven't caught up with that growth. And what we're seeing right now is the culmination of that in the quality of service. But I think what is more important to talk about is what are we doing, basically, to try and improve that quality of service. And there are a number of things. First of all, we need to do it in a way that is sustainable and in a way that ensures that it never happens again. This thing never takes us, we're managing the growth of the industry and we're developing the infrastructure at the same time. What have we done in the last 1 year? So first of all, we banned promotions, and I think it's important for us to understand why we banned promotions. So let me step back. We have an infrastructure that is not enough for the 100 million subscribers. It's not big enough. We have infrastructure that is also, apart from it not being big enough, it's not robust enough, because the infrastructure that we have is actually quite vulnerable. It's vulnerable to attack, whether inadvertent or advertent. It's vulnerable to a regulation. Today we have many government agencies, federal, which is the right thing, but state and local government agencies that are regulating the infrastructure. But with regulation comes significant costs. We also have a situation where we need to make the infrastructure critical infrastructure so that it makes it more difficult for people to actually treat this infrastructure with impunity. So first of all, what we did was that we banned promotions, because what we wanted to achieve by that is to ensure that we don't furthermore congest a network that is already congested. So what these promotions tend to do, they give you more minutes. If you're 1 minute, you get 5 and all of that. So we banned promotions for a while just to get some stability.